there. Are you awake? Are you excited? Are you ready to finally wear that fancy outfit that you saved for a special occasion? That's great, cause tonight's the night, Elysium night, and all the lords and ladies of the Ivory Tower and all of the Anarch rabble and simpletons are getting ready to get their party on. But for now, you're here, in this moment, listening to the Petals and Thorns show on KKBN, the news and sounds of Bucharest by night. I am your host, the Deadly Rose, the trustworthy tumultuous talker, the talented tempestuous tease, the tireless theatrical toreador, always telling the transparent truth. Of course, the upcoming soiree all of you will attend is the juiciest of topics this eve. But yesterday's events are certainly worthy of a comment or two, so let's dive into it, shall we? It appears that my esteemed, though fugly colleague, Skidmark, had indeed acquired some accurate intel, and the decision to share this piece of information with the sheriff and his team proved to be the correct one, as no one, particularly the prince herself, will be able to deny that the recent Inquisition attacks on the kindred population of Bucharest were in fact caused by this show and my so-called masquerade breaching. In addition, it also seems that my guess that there is a connection between Clan La Sombra and these holy hunters was half true, with not Dominic Serrano but his former agent, a certain Victoria Marshall, spilling the beans on kindred affairs to the SI zealots. However, it is to be determined if she acted alone, out of spite or blind ambition, or if she did so on her master's orders. Following the lead that was provided to him by my Nosferatu buddy, Sheriff Aman and his deputies converged on what seemed to be an abandoned chapel on the coast of a pond near the city limits. After a little scuffle with some rather surprised and irritated slayers of monsters, Aman and his ghoul Alex, the two beauties Ellie and Bendis, Marius and our favorite quote-unquote Elysium keeper Sam managed to claw and ultimately negotiate their way into the site of worship. I can only assume that they were shocked at least to realize that this was the operation base for a Delta squad of Inquisitors, but also that Vicky, whom they met previously when she was tasked to investigate their group and report her findings to Dominic, had helped stake and abduct Father Maxime, their Siniche coterie member. Also, those of them who possessed the site were also puzzled by the fact that the grounds of the church seemed to manifest a spiritual vortex, a tornado of souls if you will, possibly due to a ritual performed by the wayward Sombra. Despite the sheriff's attempt to calm the figurative spirits, a fight broke loose, with Miss Marshall panicking and making use of her disciplines to wreak havoc inside the building. The formerly pacified Inquisitors had no choice but to open fire, and with everyone focused on the troublesome Sombra, she got taken down quickly, hitting the ground with a wooden spike through her heart. The conflict appeared to be solved and Maxim was brought back from torpor, but due to my last on-air intervention, Prince Marie-Claire herself, Madame Amandine Sanchez, the Moldavian primogen, and, of course, Mr. Serrano with his security detail showed up on site aiming to get their hands on Bendis and, I assume, investigate her connection to me even further. As they intended to enter the church, most of the ones inside rushed out as ordered by the sheriff, and the inert body of the troublesome Sombra was thrown out rather carelessly, landing in the lake before the whole place blew up sky high. The missing member of the coterie, the secretive and reclusive Trunier Azra, popped up late to the show, only to discover the floating body of Miss Marshall, quite a scorched Dominic, as he took the full force of the explosion to the face, some singed and injured ghouls and vamps, including some of the coterie's members, and the missing Andrea Mann, who, quite possibly, got pulverized by the explosion. Search efforts have been carried out, I hear, for the entire night and full day, and absolutely no trace of him has been found, which leads me to wonder what will keep these brave, though not very bright young neonates together now. Bandits had been escorted to the Prince's Haven, Marius sped away without a word, and Alex, Maxim, and Ellie left the scene looking terribly sad. The two warlocks, Azra and Victor, left together also, possibly to investigate a spiritual disturbance, and the traitorous Victoria, along with her former boss, the crispy-looking Dominic, had been carried away to safety before the sun came up. Before we wrap up, I have to say two very important things. One, I am impressed and pleasantly surprised to find that Mary Claire herself muddied her designer dress and boots, tending and helping the lowly ghouls after the explosion. There is still hope that I will feel some sympathy and even admiration for you yet, Prince. And two, I have no love for Andrea Mon, and if I haven't made that clear so far, I am doing it now. But I do have sincere and immense respect for my clanmate who stood up for his beliefs, eliminated two horrible fucking barons, and possibly met final death trying to defend the city, his team, and preserve peace between the factions of Bucharest. I hope he, wherever he may be, will be rewarded some sort of happy ending. I do not wish to end this show on a sad note, so you all should cheer up before I make you do so. As I said in the beginning, it is Elysium, the first in many, many decades. So put your smile on, put your best foot forward. Put some bourbon in that blood and go see how the Ivory Tower will attempt to seduce or threaten us to join up. Let's see what the Primogen have to say, what the fate of the La Sombra will be, and who, pray tell, this visiting kindred who landed last night on a very special flight from Paris actually is. All in all, there are so many opportunities for adventure and excitement, my delicious doves. So go savor the night, Bucharest. Go savor the night.